Hello friends and welcome back to Enterprise Architecture. Now last episode we got a whole lot more done in the winter quest line of EA Farm. We are getting towards the end of the pack now because we made all of our sandwiches. At the very end of the episode we also started setting up our electrical system, which you can see behind me here. Today we are moving on to making ice cream. So with no further ado, let's dive right in. So as I was saying, we did set up an electrical system at the end of the last episode. We have two different generators going. We have a seed oil generator here, our fluid generator. That's just burning our seed oil straight off of our old tank of seed oil in our pressing factory here. Then we also put an alternator on. That's running off of these fluid tank pistons here that we've got. So this is generating a lot of stress, and we're using some of the extra stress to power this alternator. Between the two of these, that is more than enough electricity to fill up our battery, and then that is filling up our secondary battery here inside of our house. So this gets its power into the first floor of our test kitchen. Now right now the only thing I'm powering is our ice machine because the ice machine is the thing we are focusing on today. You can see here from the ice machine quest line that we actually need to make all 8 of these types of ice creams, and that is then followed by making all 8 accompanying milkshakes and then 1 Neapolitan ice cream sundae. So we can get all of these done pretty easily here. Most of these recipes are functionally identical. We just need to make the mix and then put it in our ice machine. And the mix is typically soy milk, the actual ingredient, and then sugar. So we do need to grab up our big tank of soy milk first. Alright, so there's our soy milk. Let's try and get started here on making up these recipes. Let's start first by putting our soy milk into our mixer here. We are going to pipe that out just like this. And then we want to be very careful about our order here that we're doing things. So I'm going to do Adzuki first. Adzuki Ice Cream I think is the way to go. This should work fine for us here. We are just going to make sure that that goes in and does make Adzuki Ice Cream mix. That is correct. And we are going to break this as soon as it's done. There we go, just like that, because we do want to make sure that we are only getting that recipe. Now, per usual, we do want to pull all of these things back out here. I think we're just going to use our standard fluid drawers for that. We are running out of fluid drawers once again for about the 1000th time. So let's just go ahead and buy up a couple of those, just like that. Okay, great. And we're going to do exactly the same trick that we've done in the last few episodes here. We are going to put that down and we are going to dump our Adzuki ice cream into it. And now we should just be able to pull out into this drawer with no trouble. So if that works properly for us, as soon as we put the mixer back on, this will just start doing its thing. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. That's pulling all of that out. Now I do want to pull the water out. I don't know how that got stuck in there. And so we will drain that back off. There we go. Perfect. All right. So Adzuki ice cream is now on its way. And momentarily we will be ready to put this into our ice cream machine. All right, that is now done. We're going to pull it back off that box and we have now immediately lost it. There it goes. Okay, great. And now we can wire this up. Now, I think what we end up doing here is actually having multiple ice cream machines. So let's go ahead and just put a bucket of this in here. And I believe if I have this recipe correct, that the use of this, it should be a 1/4 bucket to make our ice cream. Is that correct? Yeah, that's what's going to happen. All right. So the freezer is slowly but surely going to freeze this down here. Now this takes a really, really long time as it turns out. So I think what we need to do is go ahead and upgrade our setup already. So let's go ahead and see our ice machine here. I'm going to buy up a bunch more of these. Just like that, and that's basically going to quadruple our speed once we get this wired up. So let's go ahead and put these into place here. We need to do it in such a way that we can actually still interface with these, but we can also get wires put onto them. So I think I have more wires here somewhere and connectors. There are our wires, and our small connectors are right here. We only have one. Let's go ahead and buy up a few more of those. So we use our iron coin here and small connectors. Okay, great. And now we can just connect these up and we'll use this to increase our throughput here. Just like that. Okay, great. And now we can start putting in our ice cream into each of these. There we go. Alright, so this is going very, very slowly, but we've got Adzuki Ice Cream coming in here. While that is going, we are going to get started on the next couple of ice cream recipes for ourselves here. I think the next thing that is going to be in order here is going to be lime. Now, lime is a little bit different because we use lime juice for this instead of using actual limes. So let's go ahead and try and get this hooked up real quick here. We've got our bucket of lime juice, our box of lime juice. There we go. And now we do need to put some more sugar in here. So let's go ahead and make sure that we do this in the right order as always. I'm gonna do this to pull from there, and then we're gonna put our sugar in like that. That should start making up our lime ice cream mix. Yeah, there we go. So to speed this all up, I think what we're going to do is do one more upgrade here. We're going to double the number of ice cream machines. So I've added 4 more here. Now, one of the bottlenecks we're having right now is our speed for generating power. The seed oil generator is a very, very low tier generator. I think getting the alternator boosted up is a good way to go. Now, do I have a rotational speed controller? I do. That is wonderful. All right, so let's go ahead and break this real quick. Now instead, we will put our rotational speed controller, actually we want it to go the other way, don't we? Yeah. We want it to go this way so that it can then control the speed of our large cog wheel. This we can connect up with a single shaft, and it looks like I have one of those. I wonder where all of my other create stuff went. I must have left that sitting around somewhere that I totally forgot about. We'll put this up to max speed, and then we are going to put our alternator onto this instead. So just like that, that should be getting a lot more power for us. And now I wonder if we can do a large connector instead of a small connector. Let's go ahead and buy some of those up real quick. If we look here, we should have our large connector. There we go. We can put that on there, and we'll put the other one on the bottom, just like that. And then to connect that up, we will also need some higher tier cables. So let's go ahead and grab Electrum up. Electrum should be good for this. That helps us with a higher tier of power. Just like that. All right, great. So this is now generating 5 KFE per tick, and it doesn't look like we are running out of power here. That should be speeding that up. That should be filling that up a little bit faster. Oh, as soon as we set it to pull and push properly. So that should push. There we go. That's pulling out of there. And this should then start filling up a lot faster. Yeah, that's what we like to see. Okay, great. So now all we have to do is go back, grab our copper cables, and then we can wire all of these up. Oh, that one is full. So it looks like we're gonna have to set up another battery. Let me do that real quick too. All right, and there we go. We've swapped out also for our large connectors here, and now it looks like that our ice cream machines here, our ice machines are full of power and ready to go. So now we just have to wait for the last little bit of ice cream mix to get complete, and that'll be ready. So while that's going, we can now take our lime ice cream mix and use that in the second set that we have put together here. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. Now note that I am bucketing these by hand, and that is very deliberate. The reason why we want to bucket by hand here is because sometimes the pipes are not evenly distributing the ice cream into each of the containers, and that is problematic for us. If we end up with, say, a quarter of a bucket or something like that, it will not process properly, and it's really hard to get things out once you put them already in here. So this is kind of our solution. Okay, so next up, let's go for pomegranate juice. We've got a bunch of that already ready to go. Let's start pulling again out of here. There we go. That should slowly... Oh, we need to connect this back up. There we go. Okay, great. That should be filling with soy milk now. Let's grab up a stack of sugar, and then we just put our pomegranate juice back on here, just like so. There we go. And now we can pull out of here. All right, great. So that should now be pulling into there, and then sugar is the only thing that's missing. Okay, great. And there that goes. Now that's making our pomegranate ice cream. As soon as we've got a bucket of it, I'm going to grab that up. Perfect. And now we can put that into another drawer, and then we can repeat the process here. So let's put this right here. Great. Pomegranate ice cream mix is going, and that will join our other ingredients. All right, it looks like our Adzuki ice cream is finally done here. Let's grab up all of those. That will complete that quest. And now we're going to hold on to these for a little bit because we do want to make these into our actual milkshakes to complete the next quest line. So we're just going to hang out for a little bit with those. Looks like we are going to need to pick up some bottles too for that. So we will come back to that in a little while. All right, pomegranate ice cream mix is already done, and that means we can start bucketing that here into our ice machine. So let's go ahead and do that real fast. Oh, that's the wrong one. There we go. That's the full one. Perfect. So next on our list is going to be banana. Banana is with just actual bananas and then soy milk and sugar. So we have a stack of bananas here. Let's grab a stack of sugar, and that should be pretty simple. We can just throw it in here, and in a second, oh, we do need to wrench this again. I keep unwrenching it so that we can actually insert ingredients back in when we get overflow. But momentarily, this will be making our banana ice cream. Great. I have to say, banana ice cream mix, not my favorite of the ice creams out there. There is a restaurant nearby here where I live that has an amazing banana bread ice cream that is way better than you would ever possibly think it has any right to be. It's incredible, but actual banana ice cream, I'm just not a fan of. I have to be frank. Sorry for any of you who absolutely love it. All right, banana is done. Let's grab that up, and momentarily we can use that to replace our mint. Is that mint that we're doing? Excuse me, lime that we're doing here. So that is almost ready. Let's see here, about 75% of the way done. And there we go. There's all of our lime done. Now we can move the banana into here, just like so. You can see we did a little bit of automation. I just put some pipes to more easily pull these out once they're finished making them. So that should help us along the way a little bit, just for keeping things all cleared up. All right, banana is chillin'. What more can I say? Top billin'. Time to move on to mint. So mint leaves, sugar, that's all we need here. We've already got the mint leaves. Let's just grab up our sugar here. How we're doing on soy milk? We've still got plenty. Wonderful. Let's throw this together and it should make up our magical mint cocktail. All right, there we go. Mint ice cream coming in. Let's grab up our bucket, and once again, we are gonna do the usual thing. We are gonna pump this back out, just like so. Great. Okay, there is all of our mint ice cream done up. We are starting to get a little bit of a backlog here, so we're gonna have to throw this down here. I'm just gonna wait for these others to finish. Pomegranate's still a little ways off. Banana's got a ways to go as well. That means we are on to our more primary flavors here: strawberry, vanilla, and chocolate, the old standards. All right, so let's go through strawberry next. We've got our sugar already, we've got our strawberries ready to go. Throw those in, and that should do the thing just like that. Good to go. Alright, well, minor blip there. Apparently one of the very first recipes I added in the pack for berries and cream conflicted with my strawberry ice cream mix recipe. So I had to take a quick little detour to fix that in the pack. That means we have updated to version 1.0.18. So everybody should have that to download by the time you see this episode. So now we are back on track making our strawberry ice cream, and we are ready to go. Okay, strawberry is done. We have got that going over here now. I put our mint in so that we could start processing that as well. So we've got mint coming in. Banana still is almost done. That should be done momentarily. And that means we are on to vanilla. You know, I've mentioned this before. They say that like vanilla is supposed to be like boring or whatnot, but vanilla pods are actually one of like the most complicated and expensive things to actually produce. They're actually pretty difficult to harvest, and then you actually have to turn them into proper vanilla pods by drying them. They're very, very tiny. So like vanilla extract, although we made it relatively simply in this pack, is actually really, really expensive. So now we've got that coming in. There's our vanilla ice cream. I think vanilla is horrifically underrated, although again, chocolate's probably my go-to, I'd say. All right, so we'll get that going, and then we will be ready for chocolate, which will be the last of the ice creams that we need to make. Now, a side note here, you can actually make ice cream at home through a process that's not so different. When I was a kid, actually, a long time ago, we had an ice cream churn. It's basically this giant plastic bucket that you put like ice and salt around the outside of, and then on the inside you have another plastic bucket that you then put your milk and your sugar and whatever flavors and ingredients you want to add in there. And then you had a big crank on top that you would mix it, and it would cool it down and whip it and turn it into actual ice cream. So you can make homemade ice cream. I guess nowadays you can get fancy homemade ice cream makers that do a lot of that stuff for you, but finding an old churn is an actual fun way to do it, if not a little labor intensive. Some of my favorite memories from growing up. All right, with that, vanilla is done. We're gonna put that over here to add it to our queue because we will be ready to move that momentarily as soon as the banana gets out of the way. And last but not least, we can get started on chocolate. So I'm gonna put this down here because we do want to make sure that we get this done in the right order. So put the chocolate in like that. And now we should be able to grab our sugar up and put the sugar in next. So I think I've got most of these recipes generally deconflicted. There's still a couple of weirdnesses in here where some things have to be put in a particular order to get them back out the right way. But this sort of a thing should work for us pretty well for making sure that we get the right recipes out. So hopefully that won't be frustrating to people trying to play through the pack in the future. Great, so now chocolate ice cream is coming in, and once that's done, we can put that into our ice cream maker as well, and then we'll have all of our ice creams done. So, back in a flash. All right, and there is the last of our ice cream finally coming in. That should clear out all of our quest lines, and we are good to go on that. Now it's finally time to finish this off by making our milkshakes. Now milkshakes are made by using glass bottles and soy milk together with the ice cream flavor. And now we get a 1-to-3 ratio on this. Now, I know some of you are going to say comments about this is not a good way to make milkshakes because we're just going to break pieces of glass into our milkshake, but I have guaranteed that this is not going to end up with just a broken glass milkshake. So what we need to do here is actually do 1-to-3, right? So we need 22 mint ice creams, not a full 64, to make our mint milkshakes. That's going to make this go a little bit quicker for us here. So that's what we're going to do real fast here. We are just going to break these up into stacks of 22 and start putting them into our mixer. And you can hear that's already starting to go. That is going to be making up that recipe for us. So each of these in turn, I will put into the mixer, and then hopefully very shortly, this will turn into our lovely, lovely milkshakes for us. All right, and there are all of our finished milkshakes now that they've been mixed up. So we can just knock these off one at a time here. There's Adzuki, there's banana. Let's go ahead and sell those in the shop real quick here. Where are those in my cafe? Here we go. Our Adzuki, great. Banana, great. Then we can go to chocolate and lime. That sounds like not a great combination, but we're just gonna sell them anyway. Chocolate, lime, great. Mint, strawberries right here. There we go. Mint strawberry doesn't sound terrible though. We're gonna drop off our extras here. Let's see here, strawberry, and then mint. Perfect. And then I think we're getting towards the end here. Now we should only have pomegranate and vanilla. So vanilla and then pomegranate. Perfect. All right. How are we looking now? Okay, that is pretty much everything. Let's go back and look at our quest line. I think there's only one recipe left here now, and that's going to be Neapolitan ice cream. Now, Neapolitan ice cream is once again a sequenced assembly like we did in the last episode, so let's run upstairs and set this up. All right, so our first deployer is putting chocolate on, our second deployer is putting strawberry on, and so of course vanilla is going to be our base here, and now we have our Neapolitan ice cream, all three flavors in one delicious sundae. Excellent. Oh, and we're not going to spout soy sauce on this, so don't worry, this isn't going to do anything. That would be absolutely disgusting. Well, maybe not too bad, but we probably don't want to eat it. That's the main point here. But chocolate sauce, that could be something. Maybe, okay, that's a plan for another day. For right now, let's just focus on getting this done. And here we go. There is our Neapolitan ice cream, and that completes off that section of the quest. All we have to do, of course, is to go back here and sell it. Wonderful. Neapolitan ice cream, done. Wonderful. Well, we've made a lot of progress today, finishing off all of our ice cream related desserts, so I'm feeling really good about where we're at. Next episode, we get started on finishing out our chocolate factory. That's going to require a lot of automation. That means we are going to be building a very massive factory setup. That's probably going to be more than can fit in a single episode to get everything done and dusted for the rest of this pack. But for now, that's going to be the end of this episode of Enterprise Architecture. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you back here then. Bye, friends!